As you can see, I have a very minimal amount of lard that I've melted in my skillets. And first step, I've already sliced up my sweet potatoes just into moon shapes like this. So nothing fancy to see here. Now to this is our homemade taco seasoning. If you would like the recipe for our homemade taco seasoning, you can get that in our cookbook. I shouldn't say our. You can get that in Mark's cookbook, Cooking on the Compound, Volume 1. It's available on our website, AppalachianHomestead.org. So, I'm not measuring. I'm just going to sprinkle some on. Then I'm going to grab some tongs. Now, while we do the tossing here, and by the way, I live in my house and those are my puppies, so you may hear some animals occasionally. I'm going to preheat my oven to 400 because that's where these are ultimately going to end up. And we're going to get this show started. So, give me one moment and I am going to put these down and go grab the rest of the ingredients. So this is sweet potatoes and I got to grab a set of tongs. Okay, sorry, I had to make my dogs stop acting like idiots. So here we go. I'm going to scoot this back for just a second. So I'm just going to toss the sweet potatoes around in the seasoning. I just want to get a little bit all over. Now, if you really like spicy, you could also add sriracha right here and then bake it with the sriracha on. And I do like spicy, but today I'm just not into that. So this was 3 sweet potatoes. I will be having it on a taco because, again, I'm eating the vegan version. Not because I'm vegan, but because I'm cleaning up my act for the next 45 days. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm gonna pop those straight into my oven after I add some onion to it. Let me grab a knife. I realize I'm not in a TV studio here and I'm not fancy, but this is real life, guys. Not that you would expect anything else. Over here, so. By the way, this is how I always peel my onion. I always cut the top and the bottom off. And I know that's probably some type of wrong, but that's how I do it. And then I peel the paper off. And the easy way to do that is to sacrifice the first layer. So some of this is going to go on with my sweet potatoes. And some of it's going to go in with the meat version of this because we're doing taco two-way. Let's put these over. Okay. So I'm just going to cut the onion in half. That side's going to go back there. And I'm just going to slice the onion. Just going to go on mine, and I'm not going to use the whole amount. And I want to tuck this in. I realize I've done this backwards, but I don't care. It'll be fine. This is life, guys. I want it to get nice and caramelized, so that's the reason I want it down there. Okay. Now, here we have options. Do you want to add black beans? You can. I'm going to add black beans to the chicken, and I'm going to add the corn when I make the chicken version of this. And then I'm just going to take some of the black beans and the corn out of the skillet and add it to mine, because I don't need a whole bunch of it. Okay. This is going to go into the oven in just a second. Right this moment, I'm going to go grab my chicken. It's just going to be the two of us tonight. So I'm adding another so I don't get nasty chicken on my wooden cutting board. It's just going to be the two of us tonight. Not because we're on a date or anything, don't worry. We're not that romantic. It's because our daughter doesn't want to come home from the compound. She's down there with my son and daughter-in-law and my parents enjoying our grandson, Easton. So she has declared that she is staying down there another day, and that she is having dinner there and won't be home. So it'll just be the two of us. So I'm just slicing him up one large thin cut chicken breast. And then I'm going to go wash my hands. I'm going to cut this in half as well. So his side dish is going to be the roasted sweet potatoes. And I'm not going to have a side dish. Because I'm trying to clean up my act so that I can be healthy again very soon. Let me see if I can bring up the live chat. Okay, nobody's live chatting, so I've not missed anything. I'm going to go wash my hands and grab another cast iron. And while I was at it, I had to grab a puppy dog that was outside that I forgot. Don't worry, it's not cold here. In fact, it's too warm. In we go. Next up, I'm going to grab my chicken. Into the bowl it goes. With taco seasoning. And I'm going to put my onion in here, and we're going to toss all that together. And I'm going to add, I'll just set this down in here. I'm going to add the black beans, corn, all the things into this bowl and toss it with the seasoning. So after that, then you have more choices. This is really more like tacos 10 ways, isn't it? That root end's got to go. So, if you wanted to, if you didn't feel like standing there cooking, you could pop that in the oven and let it cook that way. I'm going to cook it on the range, just because that's how I prefer to do it. There's that. I know it's a lot of onion. Don't worry, he's got to share with me. Since I'm eating the vegetarian version, I'm also got to have all the extra flavors, guys. All the extra flavors. How many people didn't prep ahead? Hi, it's me. I didn't prep ahead, so I gotta go grab a jar of corn and a jar of black beans. Which means I actually have to go all the way out into our outside pantry because I don't have any in my working pantry right now. I'll just go rinse these really quickly because I don't like my black beans to be unrinsed. Into the pot it goes. Now I gotta go grab a jar of corn out of my smaller pantry. If you're looking for real, you just found it because y'all, I don't get ready for nothing. Outside I go again because in my small pantry I don't have the corn. But I brought it in earlier. So out I go for another jar. All right, here we go. Okay, so I've added a pint of each. Pint of black beans, pint of corn, and it's like 3/4 of a large onion and 1 chicken breast. You can see. Sorry, I should have grabbed my ingredients and made sure I had them all at the ready. But real life. Okay. So, grab that piece. That's the root end. We're taking that out. I want to break out these onions into ringlets because I want them to get like really nice and caramelized. Caramelized, however you want to say it. So I'm going to add more taco seasoning to this because to me it looks like it needs it. Again, taco seasoning. If you have the cookbook, you'll have to let us know how you like it. To me, it's like as close to a store-bought or a restaurant as you can get at home. We worked really hard making that cookbook, so y'all go grab it. Okay. Here we go. Let me see if we have any live chat. Are y'all enjoying my feet pics? So I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to this skillet, and I'm gonna scoot my cutting board away. Did I tell you guys? You can see I caught it on fire one time. So just a hint of olive oil. If you don't like olive oil, feel free to use schmaltz, tallow, whatever you do like. It doesn't matter. As long as you lube it up some way. Okay, now on it goes. And I'm probably gonna have to scoot you guys back because yesterday it did not appreciate me putting my phone over the skillet when it was over the flame. Do you hear my little pup? She's out there. She weighs all of 6 pounds and she's trying to go deer hunting. Like, she is legit trying to go deer hunting. Are you using the beans as... Sorry, let me go back and see the live chat. It took it away from me. Are you using beans as the protein since you were just doing... Yeah, you can say that if that's what you want to say. But also, guys, plants do have protein all by themselves, even the green ones. There is a certain amount in there. But I eat a ton of beans even when I'm eating meat, so I'm definitely not deficient. And that's another reason that it's a limited thing, is because, you know, you're not really getting everything you need if you eat exclusively one type of food. So I do a cleanse for 45 days, and 45 days is not going to deplete me of anything, really. So it's a very limited thing. Okay. There we go. But if it makes y'all feel better, you can, whatever you want to say I'm doing to make my protein up, y'all go ahead. Okay, so we're just going to saute this up, and I want to get like the corn to be really nice and browned, and I want the onions to be nice and caramelized, and the chicken to be done, of course, and the black beans to be done and well seasoned. And there is salt in our taco seasoning blend, so that's already taken care of. And another thing I do is taste it as I'm going. I kind of want to get the chicken to be on top of everything else for a few minutes. But I'm lazy and I mix it all together, so. The reason I'm doing that is because I want the onions and the vegetables to get like really nice and caramelized. And you can wait to put it in if you want to. Whatever floats your boat, guys. So I'm getting that chicken to be on top. There we go. Everybody's where everybody's supposed to be. And we'll just fry this up. So let me show you, you know, I showed you earlier the bread bag that I got from the Rooted Market. And I've been keeping, I made all the tortillas, of course. See how nice and thin, just like they're supposed to be? That bread bag Helps them stay nice and soft and not dry up. And then the thinness, of course, is from rolling them out. Don't mind me, I'm just over here trying to do a little cleanup on my kitchen while we do this. So does anybody have any questions? I don't know if it's, for some reason it doesn't let me see what people are typing while they're typing it all the time. And it won't let live chat stay up for me. I gotta grab a phone charger or we're gonna go offline. Here we go. Somebody said yesterday this was ASMR. I agree. And guys, it smells so good. Too bad you can't smell it. Because it smells like absolute heaven. So for Mark's, I'm going to put, I don't know the proper pronunciation, cotija, Cotija. Cheese is what I usually put on it. And some mild cheddar. And mine won't have any cheese on it. Mine will have sriracha. And I'll be happy with that. So, one of the things that I don't do when I'm doing this cleaned up act for 45 days to get myself back in line, I do not eat vegan junk food. That's the opposite of what would be helpful at this point, because processed crap is not good for anybody. Okay, now let's let it settle for a minute. Get my chicken down to the bottom. Get my skillet back centered. I've knocked it off center. Okay, so this is going to be the filling. Does anybody have any questions? It doesn't show me the chat, but you can try and I'll try to look. You could do this in a slow cooker if you wanted. And it looks like a mess, but I promise you it is so good and it smells so good. My bits are just roasting off. I was just checking on them. I love the corn and black bean and onion out of this. Added to my sweet potato taco. It is good stuff. And you can see I'm mushing up the black beans a little bit right now. But that's okay. They will still taste just like black beans are supposed to taste. Now, if I wanted to make refried beans, And I'm not today. I don't want, because I've got beans in here. So I've shown you this, how to can pinto beans. I would take my canned pinto beans. This is a quart jar. I would do 3 or 4 cloves of garlic and probably a quarter cup or so of beef broth, beef bone broth. If you guys don't have that, you could use beef broth, whatever kind of beef broth you have. And then I use my mix and chop and I mush them as I bring them to the simmer, and I let them simmer for a while and they'll go thick, and then I'll eat them because they are good. So that's refried beans. But today I have beans in the taco, so not doing that. All right, so that in the oven is going to take at least, probably 25 minutes or so. And I'm not going to stay live for another 25 more minutes. You have the idea of what's in here. I showed you on Instagram how to make the flour tortillas. So this is on Instagram, this is on YouTube, and the vegetarian option is also on YouTube. And I will come back in stories and I will show you guys how I put together these tacos in stories on Instagram. If anybody has questions, now's the time. It doesn't look like anybody else has asked anything, so I'm going to pop off live and finish cooking this, which is almost done. And you can see the corn is getting nice and browned. It is so good. So I'm going to pop off here. When I take the sweet potato and onion out of the oven, I'll make a vegan version and the meat version and pop it in my stories on Instagram. So tune in over there for that. Tomorrow, let me go see what we're making. I forgot what I wrote down. Okay, tomorrow will be, spaghetti squash chicken parm. Y'all are going to love that. So, spaghetti squash is probably my daughter's favorite. She loves it more than she even likes spaghetti. And I add the chicken parm to it, and I'll show you how to do it tomorrow. It's not traditional chicken parm, so y'all be sure that you tune in. All right. In 3, 2, 1, we're going to go off live, and I'm going to pop back over to Instagram in a few minutes when everything's finished, and I'll show you the finished product. And guess what? I did not make a huge mess today, so I'm glad, and my husband will be too.